Alrighty, welcome gentle gamers to my second stab at the Ravnica Mixer Draft. So this is an interesting kind of a draft where they've got packs from three different Ravnica sets. You get one of each set in your draft. So you're going to be making choices from a kind of a big pool of cards, and I'm not too familiar with the Ravnica block. I am familiar with the characters, having listened to the audio books, which are pretty controversial, and I've become familiar with the cards mostly through playing Commander and the historic Brawl format. But I'm not really familiar with all the cards, so let's see. Arena Tutor recommends Price of Fame very highly here. I'm a big fan of that chromatic lantern card in real life. Let's see. What's Price of Fame? Oh, destroy target creature, and its cost less if it targets a legendary creature. Well, I like some good removal. And I could be playing black. The Is It deck that I tried, I got a surprising number of wins with it because I felt like it was not really very well put together. I don't necessarily know the archetypes too well in these formats. I don't know what cards are going to work well with each other. So sometimes it's not immediately obvious whether a card's good or bad. And my Arena Tutor recommendations, they're just looking at the cards kind of in an absolute sense. They're not really considering synergies. So let's see. Affectionate Indrix or Notion Rain. I'm sort of attracted to the idea of doing a Dimir deck, and Notion Rain looks pretty good. I'm already in black. What about the LOL Giant? Deals 1 damage to the opponent for each creature card in your graveyard. Oh yeah, I was thinking that would be a fun card to play in my Stick Fingers deck. There's also a Dimir Guildgate. Wouldn't it be fun to wield that? Alright, I'll go with Notion Rain, because that's the kind of card I do enjoy playing with. I play a Pilfering Imp in my Tergrid deck. That's a card I'm familiar with, but let's see what Arena Tutor thinks. Oh, maybe a Darkblade Agent staying in Dimir. As long as you've surveilled this turn, it has Death Touch and lets me draw a card. But am I going to be able to surveil? Do I want to search for cards out of the hand? I'm going to go with the gold card, and we're finding ourselves potentially in Dimir here. Leapfrog was a good one in my last game. Oh, Artful Takedown. So this could tap a creature or destroy it. I like that. Possibility of wheeling a Dimir Locket. I'm not sure how helpful that is, but blue and black are colors where you might need that. Sacrifice a creature, gain life, and destroy a creature. That's a good removal card. Another Notion Rain. Don't need that. That's probably the one I'm going to go with. Hypothesizzle, I've considered playing in my my Joyra Weatherlight Captain Historic Brawl deck. But yeah, I think Severed Strands looks good. More creature removal. We're going for a very control sort of a deck. Goblin Electromancer, one of my favorites. Now, Burglar Rat might be good for some low curve kind of stuff. Or do I want yet another removal spell with Artful Takedown? Sure, let's just be full of removal and hope for creatures later. So these Bartizan Bats are a vanilla 3/1 flying. I guess that's good to have that evasion. The LOL Giant, I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of creature cards in my graveyard. So, well, want to fill out the bottom and top of the curve at this point. I guess this is making sense as a Dimir deck. I don't know if any of these are necessarily like the bomb commons or anything. So far I've taken one uncommon. I haven't gotten a rare. Don't feel like I've pulled any bombs or any signpost uncommons that are necessarily directing me to this sort of a deck, but I do like having a lot of removal. That's always good. Alrighty, now we're down to just a couple of options in my color. All creatures get -1/-1, and that does synergize with my Surveil agent. Disdainful Stroke's a real good card, though. I think I'm going to go with this because it has the synergy with Surveil. As always, as somebody who, you know, my whole deal here is that I'm returning to the game and not that great a player. You get to watch a regular guy play. Okay, so he gives another creature a bonus. Or I could do a leapfrog. I'll do a leapfrog because I want lower in the curve, and I know that this guy is helpful. This guy surveils, so there's my surveil. Synergy. Oh, Spinal Centipede. When he dies, you put a counter. That seems good. So anyway, I welcome any comments you might have about ways I could have done this better. If you know the Ravnica set better and you have any ideas about how I might have drafted differently, if you think it was a mistake to go into Dimir. Sorry, I had to mute the mic for a moment. So I took that vampire because I thought I just kind of generally need more creatures in here. Obviously, that would be more appropriate to the black and white archetype. Now, Thought Collapse is a real cool counter spell. Skitter Eel, I don't know about. Adapt. I pay to put counters on it if it has no counters on it. I mean, that could be a good creature that grows big, and I've already got all that removal. I'm just going to make sure I have enough creatures here. Counter spells just keep coming up. Now, Blood Crypt, that'd be a good, for the collection kind of a choice if I decided Slime Bind wasn't the ticket. What about Undercity's Embrace? Oh, that makes your opponent sacrifice a creature? This is going to be a really mean control deck. Let me know in the comments if you think that I have too much removal. Now, Persistent Petitioners. Let's look and see what the recommendation is. They like Skitter Eel or Thought Collapse more than they like the Noxious Grudion. But they like Noxious Grudion a lot, too. I feel like I may be a bit heavy in the curve here, so I'll take this lower thing. And then Plague White. Oh, that's cool. Gives those Phyrexian -1 counters. Or do I want a Chillbringer? Or a Coral Commando? Oh, Chillbringer is the ticket here, even though, well, we'll see. Blade Juggler or Sage's Rose Savant. Deals 1 damage and you draw a card. Spectacle cost. If an opponent lost life this turn. Yeah, that looks fun. Would be nice if I could get some stuff that was low in the curve in pack 3, but I do have a lot of good options here, I feel like. Carrion Imp is expensive. I don't really feel like I'm going to need to exile a creature from the graveyard so much. Eyes everywhere. Scry every turn. Exchange control for a permanent. Oh, that's cool. That feels better than a bounce spell. A little bit expensive. That suits the theme of this control deck. I think I want a Sage's Row Savant at this point, because I just don't have much that's low in the curve. I'm going to have a lot of hands where I don't have first couple turn plays here. Maximize altitude, I think I might put away. I'm not really a creature deck, I'm more of a control deck. Leapfrog will be good because I'm going to be casting a lot of instant or sorcery removal, and I can use that to jump over their blockers with a 3 damage guy. Do love the frog art. One of these days, I know the new Crimson Vow set's giving us a pretty awesome frog commander. Wouldn't it be fun to make a frog commander deck or a frog deck in Historic Brawl? Alright, I like Quench, but I like Clear the Mind better. Oh no, that's that's my counterspell. I'll get Quench, so I'll have a cheap counterspell. Once again, suiting the control theme. Would love to get your comments about how many of each card needs to go into this very controlling deck. Am I putting in too much removal or too much counterspell? Is that even possible? This will be an interesting deck to play. Homunculus is the only card in color. Now, he's sort of expensive for a blocker, but that might be good in a control deck. Slimebind nerfs one of their tough creatures in a flash. Persistent Petitioners to have another low in the curve kind of a card. The Gruul Locket would have made black mana for me. I'm not sure if the lockets are good in limited or what. I could have done more research. I've had a bunch of questions come up in my first couple of drafts about what might or might not work. I'll grab this Goblin for my collection because I like Goblin decks. Alright, the Elder Spell. Destroy Planeswalkers. Now, I know Ravnica sets are pretty heavy in Planeswalkers. On the other hand, I haven't even seen any. However, Narset Parter of Veils, I know that's a good card. I've heard about that. At least I know it's good in Commander. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I can look at my library, put cards in my hand, stop my opponents from drawing. Yeah, that's fun to have pulled a Narset Parter of Veils for this blue-black control deck draft. I think that's a good omen that I'm going to have some fun. Do I keep the Vampire in the deck? Might be helpful to have lifelink. Oh, what's this? The Finale of Eternity. Oh, very cool. Effects is 10 or more. Goodness. Well, it's always good to have more gnarly removal. Or do I want Liliana's Triumph, which makes each opponent sacrifice a creature? Finale of Eternity would be great in the old Stick Fingers deck. Up to 3 target creatures with toughness X or less. I don't know how I'm going to have 10 mana lying around. So I think I'm going to go with Liliana's Triumph. I need stuff that's lower in the curve. Massacre Girl, I've heard so much about you. She's a real good sweeper. That's probably what they recommend I get, right? Yeah, big time what they recommend I want. Vizier the Scorpion would be next. Somebody who does a mass. But yeah, I'm excited to have Massacre Girl and Narset Parter of Veils in my black-blue control deck. Let me know if you think I should have gone for that black rare. Do I splash in the Dreadhorde Butcher? What's a Guild Globe? Draw a card, add 2 mana of different colors. Could be good for fixing. The Behemoth is just a vanilla 5/4 body for 5 mana. Here's a Planeswalker. Did I make a mistake in passing up that Planeswalker destruction card? I just don't know. I don't know how successful people are going to be. Now, do I want a second Narset Parter of Veils? That sure would be a fun collection pull. Or do I want more removal? Obnixilis' Cruelty is some pretty awesome removal. And I've already got the one Narset, and I want to be trying out different cards. That's one of my values. Herald of the Dreadhorde, is it? Or do I want Shriek Diver? I like the flying. I like that it's low in the curve. What does Arena Tutor have to say? Herald of the Dreadhorde. But, you know, I've got so much big stuff already. Shriek Diver's about as good, and I like flyers. I like evasion. Toll of the Invasion. Or Herald of the Dreadhorde. Well, there's Herald. I always think of the Primus song, Herald of the Rocks. You get to choose a card and you get to amass. Well, that's good enough for me. I do like to play some discard in this kind of a deck. Amass 3, so that makes at one army that is a 3/3. Or I could have a Naga Eternal that gives 3. Oh, the Elder Spell has wheeled. Well, I don't necessarily need 2 Naga Eternals, do I? I'll take the Elder Spell. It's always fun to have a better collection. Oh, look, there's another Toll of the Invasion. Aid the Fallen. Return a creature card from the graveyard or a Planeswalker. Well, I can get Narsa back with that. That's fun. Goblins, or oh wait, Totally Lost is, that's kind of a good, that's more control. Sarkhan or Bond of Passion? Let's do Bond of Passion. I love gaining control. Another Herald. Well, here it is. I got a lot of choices to make here. I feel like I'm going to be throwing out a bit of the 4-drops, because there was a whole lot of 4-drops. Oh, they're saying get rid of Leapfrog, Quench, Noxious Grudion, maximize altitude. I definitely agree about that. I already pulled that one. Lazotep Behemoth. Just not that great a card compared to my stuff that is more interesting. Homunculus, yep, I got more value. And the Vampire doesn't really suit my control theme. What else does it recommend I pitch? The Petitioners, the Naga Eternal. Well, yeah. Naga Eternal versus, yeah, a lot of other stuff at that mana cost. They're not as into Leapfrog as I am. Where's Quench? What are the cards I absolutely don't want to get rid of? Totally Lost barely makes it. Aid the Fallen barely makes it. Severed Strands. Yeah, because I gotta sacrifice something. I got so much better removal than that that doesn't have the same kind of cost. Noxious Grudion is Is it vanilla? Is that right? Oh, it's got Death Touch, but yeah, that doesn't really suit. Now, Mephitic Vapors does the surveil thing. Eyes Everywhere can take control of something. I guess they like the Elder Spell. Elder Spell is pretty high value. How many land would you play in a deck like this? Mephitic Vapors. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll get rid of the Spinal Centipede because I'm not really a creature deck. So, what do I still need to pull? Oh, it's recommending I get rid of Liliana's Triumph. That's not held very highly in regard, huh? I'm not controlling a Liliana Planeswalker. And you don't choose what creature they sacrifice. Alright, we got ourselves a deck. Let's try a game with this somewhat silly Dimir deck. It does look like it could have some gnarly control features, provided I'm not getting aggroed out too fast, right? Provided I have time to set up my control. It's always hard to make the time to hold up that removal. Here we are against Gil. Guilty. Well, I'm going to be able to scry every turn with Eyes Everywhere. Hopefully I can get Narset out and do something fun with her. Aid the Fallen, not the kind of card you want in your opening draw. It's not a play I can use early, but I will have a Darkblade Agent. I'll get that wall out that surveils if I can draw a swamp. Because if I draw a swamp next turn, I'll go Darkblade Agent. Well, no. I guess I'll go Eyes Everywhere because I don't want Narset to just get eaten alive by Tybalt's Rager. It'd be cool if I could exile it rather than have it die. A Devil. Oh no, Krenko. I'm going to say nice. Yeah, that's a pretty good pull in Limited, I bet. I need a swamp, so I'm just going to pitch anything that's not a swamp with my scry. And look, here's that swamp I needed. Well, Darkblade Agent it is. And I'll be able to take control of Krenko. That's kind of cool. Provided I draw another couple of land. Be good to get that Berry of Bones out and give Darkblade Agent Death Touch. Oh look, yeah, they're making some zombs here. Now this guy can get +2, and he's got the mana open for it. Gives him +2. I'll just take the hit. Your life total is a resource. Now Narset can help me grab a piece of removal that might be good. Oh look, they're looking at the top card of my library. Do I want the swamp right now, or do I want something more useful? Oof, Massacre Girl. That's a pretty good one to have when you're overrun by 1/1 zombie tokens. Play the Barrier of Bones now. And I think I'll go ahead and play Narset. I'd rather have some kind of a swamp. Now, because I've surveilled, the Darkblade Agent is going to have Death Touch. I will use her ability. Grab an Artful Takedown, not much of a choice there. Now this guy, if he attacks, he's Death Touching whoever he hits. And I'll get to draw a card if they don't block. Oh, that's the best outcome, because now when I Massacre Girl, I'll get rid of so many of his goblins. I just hope that I draw a swamp. Alrighty, I guess I'll block Krenko with the Barrier of Bones and just let Narset go. Really hoping I draw a swamp so that I can cast Massacre Girl, but an Artful Takedown would be good to take out the Silverwing, which is a flyer. Hopefully it's a swamp. Alrighty then, let's see how Massacre Girl does for me. Each other creature gets -1. And now every other creature gets a whole lot of -1. I'll get to draw a card when Darkblade Agent gets through. Oh wait, no, I didn't surveil. That's a whole lot of triggers, Massacre Girl. What a nifty card. So I can bring one of my creatures back. Who might I want to bring back? Probably the Darkblade Agent. He's the only creature. And I can attack and then bring in Blade Juggler and draw a card. Oof. 2 damage. Oh, and then they have another 2 damage spell, huh? I guess I'll bring back Massacre Girl with Aid the Fallen. Shriek Diver will be good too. So I'll do the Blade Juggler. It'll be good to draw a card. Maybe I'll draw another land. Next turn I can play both of these. Oh, the Elder Spell, they don't have any Planeswalkers. Nice to have that Scry. Okay, so Shriek Driver, Leapfrog, maybe they'll waste some of their removal on that before I pull out my nasty guy. And what's Shriek Driver do? Oh, can give it haste. Oh, that was good. I almost started combat and missed my chance to attack with a hasted Shriek Driver there. I got lucky. As a guild gate's got some cool art. I'm not a huge fan of the gate mechanic. I'm not sure if I quite get the value of it, but it would be cool to see an example of the gate mechanic used well. Leapfrog's just going back to my hand, huh? Alrighty. At this point, do I want that much? I think I want something other than a land here. End up getting a land anyway. Now they know that if they cast something, that I can take it over with eyes everywhere. Why don't I make their army die? If they cast something, I can just take control of it. That's a pretty gnarly lockdown situation. Just what I was hoping for in drafting a Dimir control deck. And the Ravnica mixer. Uh-oh, they're flashing out their fairy duelist. They're killing my dude. Gnarly. Nice move. What do I want to exchange control for? Well, here's some bats. I like these bats. I like a 3/1 flyer right now. I guess now it's time to aid the fallen. Do I want a Narset? Why don't I get a Narset? And I've got a flying leapfrog. Do you want to trade your fairy duelist for my flying leapfrog? Let me know in a comment if you think that offering that trade was the wrong move. I'm a control deck, maybe I shouldn't be so aggressive, maybe I should have saved my flyers, but I'm just figuring if they want to cast something... Oh, they destroyed it. If they want to cast something, I can control it. Who's going to get decked first? I will. Don't need no more land. Big creature would be good. I know I have a lot of big things. Well, I can put out Narset. I can use her loyalty ability. Now I've got enough control to just take over all their creatures that they might cast. Sage's Rose Savant will let me scry 2. Oh, and I can take something out of their hand in a mass. That is significant. Price of Fame, Toll the Invasion, Notion Rain. I like to draw 2 cards. Can't take control of anything. Oh, I guess I'll cast that. Surveil 2. Don't want that. Do want the Herald. His name is Harold. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. Herald of the Rocks. So, somewhat unbalanced as this kind of deck goes. Guild Globe's not really going to help me. I don't want to bother taking control of that non-land permanent. I guess on my next turn I'll cast Herald. If they want to cast a creature, I will steal it. Ooh, Chillbringer. Chillbringer is going to be cool. Funny about how Narset just doesn't really have the ability to add. Oh, we got a Fire Urchin. I'll be happy to take that. Oh, and the Orzhov Racketeer is all of a sudden I've just got an embarrassment of riches. I'll tap the fire urchin. And I'll attack. Hopefully I got this lockdown figured out here. I'm not going to deck myself. Still got 11 turns to go, and my opponent's on a 2-turn clock at this point. I can either control his urchin or kill it. Thinking I'll play the Racketeers. So I'm going to go ahead and use instant speed removal. The Elder spell still don't need to destroy Planeswalker, so I'll put that back. Another swamp. I feel like Venus in the movie The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, right? When her husband, the god Hephaestus, gives her yet another diamond, and she just really tosses it onto the pile with a sigh. Guild Globe, that is totally a snow globe. Alrighty, good game. Well, my first game with Dimir control worked out. Let's try another. I'm going to stop this recording and start a new one just to make sure that we don't have any unforeseen glitches.